Well, Jeff, I think you're a victim of 20 hours of our life versus 365 days.
He was being nice.
Well, listen, we didn't want our family to break up.
I know.
Isn't that obvious?
Well, right, but he's not trying to be rude.
Jeff, you're reading too many tabloids.
Hey,
we didn't want this breakup. I didn't want this breakup.
I know, but he wasn't being rude.
I can't tell.
He's not being rude.
I think you just stayed.
Saw in that clip. Cody took the opportunity to tell one of the fans of the show, one of the audience members of the show, one of the people who watched this show for the last, 18 seasons, that they can't believe what they've seen. That the image that they've seen on the TV screens over the last 18 seasons, none of it is real. It's all pretend, Jeff, because you've only seen 20 hours of their life each season out of the 365 days that they live in. So you can't believe your eyes. Here's the thing that I have to say about that, and this goes with blanket statements to anybody on this show or any other show, whether it's Mary, Christine, Janelle, Kody Robyn, Angela Deem from 90 Day Fiancé, anybody who appears on these shows. When you sign up to do these shows, it's assumed that what people see on the screen is actually a depiction of your life. And irregardless of editing, because I understand that you can edit certain clips to make it seem like a certain narrative is being portrayed to the audience members. I understand that. However, what they can't do, unless you're accusing TLC or whatever reality show program or producer you work with or work for, of using AI technology that's making you look like you're doing something that you are absolutely not doing, you are doing the thing that people are watching you do. I don't have to see you 365 days if I watch you in an hour episode mistreat other people who you're on the screen with. I don't have to watch you for all your life, and I don't have to know everything about you. I just know that what I see, I don't approve of. That's what people are commenting on. Now, I understand that there's a huge difference between the way that you portrayed yourself in the beginning versus where you are now. When you first came out on the show, and this is directly at Kody, when you first appeared on TLC and you came out on the show, you were the happy-go-lucky, polygamy is the greatest thing since sliced bread. I know what I'm doing. We're all so happy and it's so wonderful. You won't believe the greatness that's available if you just participate in polygamy. We're just like everybody else. That's what you kept saying. And we watched episode after episode of what I call the polygamy propaganda program because you told us that your lives were perfect. And as the seasons went on, what we found out was, in fact, that the story that you were telling us, the 20 hours a season that we watched your family, none of it was true. It wasn't accurate. There were people who were very upset that new members were joining the family. There were people who were feeling neglected. And no, that wasn't shown on the show. And yet you're yelling at Jeff because you didn't want to have a divorce and you didn't want this. At the end of the day, the responsibility of your family falling apart has to rest on your shoulders. You didn't leave them. They left you. And if you've never taken the opportunity to take a step back to figure out why they left, you don't understand the assignment. That's the point. Because like I said, when the show first started, we were told that you guys would not die alone, that you guys were always there for each other, that you guys always had each other's backs, that the wives were all for having additional wives in the family, and they all got along. And not only were they friends, but these women are like sisters, and therefore they're sister wives, and it's so wonderful. And there's a distinct difference between the Sister Wives cast that we saw in season 1 versus the Sister Wives cast that we were treated to in season 16, 17, and 18 as the family started to fall apart and as a lot of the truths of actually living polygamy came out. One of the big things that came out from this, and again, I understand that you're going to say that, oh, it's all editing and they're screwing me on the edit and TLC is misbehaving. Here's the first thing. Let's get into it. First and foremost, if you first joined this show because you wanted to present polygamy in a positive manner, then the second they started to show polygamy in a negative manner, you should have withdrawn from the show. If the whole goal was for you to push polygamy out as this positive thing and you guys don't understand it and we're going to pull it into the light so you guys can all appreciate it, and TLC, the rat bastards that they are, took and edited your life down to 20 hours and they made it seem that you guys were bad people and you were horrible people and you're actually these great, wonderful folks and you're trying to be the sponsor or the representative of what polygamy can be, and you find out that that TLC is tearing your family apart because of the way you're being portrayed. You find out that the show's impact on your family is a negative thing. It's actually destroying your family. Wouldn't it make sense that if you were this kind, caring, and concerned person that you try to portray yourself to be in the first few seasons, earlier seasons, that you would have pulled them off the show in order to save your family? If you wanted to save your family, that would have been a way that you could have done it. But the opportunity was so good. The opportunity was there. Because let's go to the Sister Wives book that I purchased. These are your words. In the Sister Wives book, under celebrity, when we talk about Christine talks about how she was a part of a group called Principal Voices. This was a group that was supposed to introduce polygamy to the mainstream. She sat there, she was going to the meetings, and she was a part of it. I didn't hear anything about you joining Principal Voices and trying to be a part of that organization. Oh, James, that's the organization for women. Well, were you trying to start, spearhead, or lead an organization of men who were trying to pull polygamy into the forefront? I don't think so. I never heard that. If in fact that's something you were doing, I'd love to hear about it. But I don't think that that's the case. As Christine describes it, you weren't interested in what she was doing until you found out that she had an opportunity to get on TV, and people were talking about putting her on TV. Then all of a sudden, hey, people are making offers for us to be on TV. Next time that happens, let me know about it. And because I would love to be on TV. And then by your opportunity of being on TV, all of a sudden you're presented with a new girlfriend who, in her first chapter, who talked about how when she was in Salt Lake and her cousin, she came down, visited her cousin, met you guys and went back to Salt Lake. And you went over to her house and said, hey, I'm really interested in your cousin Robyn. And her cousin, Robyn's cousin, called her in Salt Lake and said, you need to get back down here because the Brown family is interested in you and they have things going on. That's in her chapter, her first chapter, where she talks about marriage and how she met you and how you guys started courting. So the idea of the show provided you not only a lifestyle and opportunity, but it also gave you the opportunity to marry the woman of your dreams and grow your family. So let's be honest about it. And if you want to take the position, the one thing that always blows my mind is that people want to take the position that you don't really know my life. You don't know me because you only see 20 hours of my life. Well, here's the thing. If I only see 20 hours of your life and I don't really know you, then why should I give you the benefit of the doubt? Just because I don't know you, that doesn't mean I can't listen to the negative things that are presented on the show or the negative feelings or observations that I have about you from the show. That also means that you're not the nice guy. You're not the friendly guy that you presented yourself to be in the first few episodes, because we only see 20 hours of your life. We can't assume that polygamy is a positive thing because, like you said, we only see 20 hours of your life and there are 365 days in the year. There's also a point where the positions you had early on with regard to women, You early on, they put me in their place. I try to tell them what to do, and they slap me down real quick. The only people I'm really in charge of is the kids. Ha ha ha! Remember that? That was season 1, when you would go on talk shows and talk about how these women are running the house and how strong and independent they are. And then we only get to see in season 16 where you're yelling at Janelle because she has this bone of independence in her body where she feels like this is what she should be doing. In fact, she sat there and said on camera, unless of course this was all a lie, that this is what I thought you wanted. I thought you wanted us to be independent. Because you weren't coming over solving our problems. You weren't fixing our issues. So we had to take it upon ourselves to save ourselves, to do for ourselves, to provide for ourselves, because you weren't doing it. That's what she said out of her mouth. That's what she said. But we only see 20 hours. We don't know anything. There's also the position that you took where you pretended like you cared what they actually thought, that they actually were full contributors to the family and the direction of the family, that they actually had an opportunity to give their thoughts and opinions on how the family grew. But then, by season 17 and 18, we're going to get back to polygamy. We're going to get back to the patriarch. We're going to get back to me telling you guys what to do. We're going to get back to me being in charge. I tried to be this benevolent leader, but I realize now that I gave you guys too much slack. And I have to pull in the reins. So which one is real? Because we only get to see 20 hours. Which one is real? Is it real when you tell us that these women have the freedom and they have choice? Or is it real when you tell us that you're the absolute positive leader who has absolute decision ability over the things that they do? When you told us that nobody is trapped, that nobody's a prisoner in polygamy and they can leave anytime they want, but yet and still I watched you for the last 2 seasons complain about them leaving. In addition to the 2 seasons that I watched you complain about them leaving, I've also watched you go on podcasts and complain about them leaving and saying how it's not fair that they left and how they shouldn't have been able to leave. Was all that a lie? Was it a lie when you went onto independent platforms and told your story your way, the way you wanted to? Come on, man. And here's the thing. Back when you first started the show, you were confined to working with a producer so that you could get the word out on TLC or a network. In today's society, like I'm sitting here now on YouTube, you guys could nix the whole TLC thing, start a YouTube channel and start telling people what you think. Maybe it'll be successful, maybe it won't. But it'll be your words and you have absolute decision making as far as what you put out, what gets produced, what gets said, so on and so forth. That's my challenge to you. If you guys have a problem with working with TLC because you don't like how they're presenting you, then you need to strike out on your own. That's my take. Let me know what you guys think down below, because I think that this is a very interesting thing. This has always kind of been a pet peeve of mine when people sign up for reality shows and they try to pretend like the reality show isn't real and it's a false depiction of what's actually going on with them. Well, if that's the case, it's your fault that you're being portrayed that way, because you don't have to keep participating in something that's putting you out in a negative light. And if it is putting you in a negative light and you understand that and you're okay with getting that money and cashing those checks, then don't cry and complain that people are talking to you as though the things that they see on the screen are real. That's my take. Let me know what you guys think down below. I'm James. This has been my take on reality, and I'm out.
Living life right like I could just die.